Let's offspring this. Hope they have nothing. They tapped out last turn, but they played a Siren first. Okay. Here we go. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Selesnya Rabbits. This is in a super aggro deck that has kind of gotten unbanned with the current bannings that Standard has gone through, where this deck always felt like the second string to the mono red deck, where we are equally as aggressive, but we were just too slow to beat a Manifold Mouse double striking Heartfire hero with Monstrous Rage. And this deck has a lot to offer and is one of the only S tier decks ranked on untap.gg, along with mono red goblins that got that title today as well. But for a while, this was the only deck recording hitting Mythic and then also being S tier, so that's pretty awesome. The entire goal of the deck is to be super aggressive with our low to the ground 1-drops, leading into our nice 2-drops that are either Lords or grow really huge on themselves, and hop to it to overflood the board. Shelter by Ghost to save us in a tough spot, and a final card. The other thing is that the entire creatures and stuff in this deck, outside of some of the lands that will get replaced in future sets, is entirely rotation safe outside of, again, the lands. I didn't put Starting Town in the deck by accident. It's over here, 64 cards. But with that said, we're going to dive right into the games. I hope you all enjoy them, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let's go game. Oh, okay. 1, 2, maybe draw another creature. This is probably fine. It's probably not fine. It seems like controls are fear right now. It's obviously tough, but our hand curves really well. The artifacts, that actually weirdly gives us a chance if it's artifacts, which, based on my lack of knowledge, it should be. I mean, I'm just gonna hop to it and then play this. Maybe they just play land, play synthesizer. Maybe they go for a braided net. Who knows? Oh, it is artifacts. Okay, sweet. Definitely makes sense. I suppose just be this and this. They'll hit for more. 3, put them down to 18. They gain life off of the clay bricks, so you know they're ready to go. Their attack, create a 1/1 to stab them attacking, or they get like our +4-ish. That robot's good. They go up. Maybe they'll have a removal spell here. This comes in. We'll name Rabbit, of course. Here. +2/0, and then I'm gonna buff everything so they can't trade off my 4/3. If they want to block the 4/3, it's like weird, right? Because they don't actually remove the creature, and if they don't have a board wipe, then it's a tough choice. If they had the board wipe, they most likely would block the Warring Guard because they just want to prevent as much damage as possible. Whereas, like, now it's a little bit different. Another War Leader is probably best draw, if I had to guess. Well, definitely now. Cut and dry turn. Frog? Another snare, okay. Probably take the Warren Guards, yeah. Name Rabbit here, doesn't really matter. Go here, here, then here. I mean, we're all in here. Creature's got trample. They have snares, maybe they've ran out. Clearly didn't have a board wipe. They would have board wiped over snaring twice. They have a board wipe now. They have it, but this is like the call your shot moment, right? Where you basically have to throw everything at the board and just hope it's enough. Obviously, they can technically block, although the block isn't going to be enough. If they block with the anchorage here for a 2/3, the trample kind of causes problems there. And our trample damage alone is 8, plus any extra that we get through. Alright. Maybe removal. Oh. Tough draw, to be honest. Obviously, they could have some removal and stuff like that. We're just attacking, though. It could bring up land, maybe block the 3/2, and then go for the throat my mentor. Land draw hurts a lot. Maybe they'll miss it. Who knows? We can only hope. If they only have an answer to one creature and they forget to bring up the land to block, then we get there regardless. Oh, wait, yo. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Alright, here we get to go first, but it's a weird hand, man, because I don't get to play this. Because obviously you would think, oh no, play that first. Then I can't play this or this, and those seem better, and this is also awkward. Maybe I mull that hand. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this seems much better. What do I throw back here? The village, I guess? If we draw another land, we'll be okay with that. Play a recruit. Would not be okay keeping the third land and then drawing a land. We just won't really make it out of the game by putting any resource back. The problem is that first hand was just so good, too. It sucks it has to go down like that. A little part of me with this makes me think I should just slam the recruit and the seasoned. Although I can just double season here. And if I rip a land, I can offspring that, which is probably good. I mean, it is good. It's just whether or not, like, it becomes the right play. If not, if they just put, like, a 2-mana creature in the way, we can Shelter by Ghost, of course. Not going to target the recruit because they're most likely going to want to remove that regardless, but cool sleeves. Alright, so they most likely have a flash creature here if I had to put my money on it. It'd be a 2-1, which is kind of okay. Attacks, put a counter on each other creature, then if creatures have a total of 10 power, draw a card. Go to combat. It's also the stark contrast to the last game we just played, where I end up with 6 lands. We have a 3-land opener, and I get rid of one, of course. Go for the Throat, a card that will be rotating, which is interesting. At the end of the month, so this card will actually be gone not too long from now. This blue-black deck that's going to be really good right now. If anybody's thinking about crafting it, playing it, do be a little bit careful about it. Because, again, it does have a lot of its removal rotating. It does play one of the best cards in Kaito. And Kaito is just, like, really, really awful to try to remove. But Go for the Throat, Cut Down, and a lot of those type of things are being removed from the format. So here, I'm going to just slam this. If they have a counterspell, they can hit this, and then I get a good attack in. If they don't have a counterspell, they have to kind of react now. And then this makes a token, so these actually get larger here. It's a bit deceiving. Because Offspring makes a token, and now these attack, and then they both get buffed. So it actually puts in a way bigger hit than they probably expected, but did we go too wide too fast for the blue-black player? They have 4 mana. 1 short a deadly cover-up. I don't know if they have a Surge Goal, but we are in the business of playing everything we can and going for it. There's another land. Combat. Remember, they actually have to answer my token here. They don't. Okay. Yeah, and they don't have the answers. They just don't have enough removal. So, very cool. Against probably one of our harder matchups, if I had to put one on paper, being blue-black, the fact that they do play a lot of removal. They just unfortunately don't have quite the right cards. If they would have got the cards down and got the value train going, we obviously had been a bit more trouble, but unfortunately they did not. Fortunate for us, of course, and we move on. All right, we can go first here. 1, 2, maybe on 3, maybe on 4. We'll see. Batch down. Don't think we're ever going to want to use a shelter anytime soon. Green. Maybe if it's a land war elves, you could argue that we're supposed to shelter it, but probably a more important card to attack. Yeah, opponent. Come on now. You just played a forest. Okay. Alright. Sure. Alright. So a little part of me wants to just do this, but I think I go here. Then obviously I pass. Don't really want to blow that up. This is a creature. Whenever a creature you control becomes star spell or ability. Okay. So this targeting my shelter by ghost does nothing. Like in terms of like letting me move counters around. Anywhere else, sure. Okay, that's actually a pretty good draw. Allows us to maybe mess around a bit. Town ain't big enough is pretty awesome that I don't have to deal with that card anymore. Obviously they could bounce something here, but I don't think we're going to see that from them. You get to move a counter around if that happens. Seed of Hope. Town ain't big enough is honestly probably the card I'm most happy that doesn't exist anymore. That card is just always annoying. Even like when your opponent wasn't necessarily... I don't know, it was weird. It always felt like your opponent was never doing anything that great, but you also could just never beat them. Kiora comes in. Now this is down. Kiora is important, but much more important is playing the war leader. 2 lands gone. Prevail. We'll see what they put in the yard now. Sure. 1 type, 2 type, 3 type. I don't have any in mind. That leaves open a lot to happen here. So we go Shelter, Absorb, West Caller. Seems good, I guess. You guys want to know my biggest creature at this point? You know what we got to take care of here? Doesn't really matter that much, but it does. Kiora dies here. I'm pretty thankful for that. I might take the trade if they have another Kiora, but I will gladly swap this off. Maybe I could attack with Keen Eye, but the problem is if they trade Keen Eye and then have a Kiora, we are facing down like an 8/8 next turn, right? Yeah, they just take the damage, which is kind of what I assumed was going to happen. They want to try to trigger Kiora to make this 8/8, but with only 1 creature on the back end, it's kind of like, okay. Features Rhythm. A pretty good card, but you still have to pay the green. You can't just get away with not paying the green. Make the 8/8, but Kiora does have to attack. Do so. No. Wait, they can actually harmonize. They actually had the mana and everything. That's kind of crazy. Gotta be good enough though, because it's gonna tap everything, right? What do you get for 8 here? I have no idea. Show it to me, opponent. I will tell you that Rhythm will not stay there. Maybe you could do an eye. I don't know if that's what they're after. It's so unfortunate because Keen Eye Curator here would have just allowed me to exile it. Or they would have been able to make the 8/8 and do anything effective with it. But yeah. I just don't know if they have a creature that's good enough in this specific spot. Even like... Yeah, they didn't. All 2 discard 2. They wanted the blockers. Another land. Wow. It's either ripping lands or anything relevant at all. It's just not there, huh? Here. Here. I have a sorcery, a creature, a land, and an instant can happen. Okay. Problem is Kiora can just stay around, right? And that's a big issue. That's just wait a turn here. Probably, right? Guess so. Until they put something valuable in there, I'm not doing anything. rhythm and stuff like that could have done. Turn to one target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. I guess, brother. I don't know. Okay. Sweet. Counter here. Get the Haywire Might back, which does like something. Yeah. Alright. We can now kind of do stuff at random. So we'll grab a land. Grab an instant. Now an 8/8, so that's pretty cool. And I'll grab like any card that matters other than lands, I guess. Another land, man. Just hurts every time. Every time it hurts. Dude, can I stop actually drawing lands? Now, if I attack with this, they can obviously double block and do some stuff. It's just weird. I feel like I don't want to do anything. Just do. 5 exile, return to the battlefield, transform. Creature can't be blocked. Doesn't really do me any good. I can make a dude, or I can give it a +1/+1. I can give everything +1/+1. I attack here. They're kind of forced to block, right? They're just going to be able to answer my 8/8, and if they don't trade off their Kiora, it just does nothing at all. I don't know. Sure, I guess. Oh, okay. I was right about them getting an eye earlier. That's kind of funny. Alright, will we draw a land? After drawing a ton. Kind of the only chance we have, to be honest. Alright, alright. Bring it up. No land, please. No land, please. And I think we have to just barrel here. So I can make multiple 1/1s. Is that better? No, it's probably just +1/+1/+1. It's a weird one, that's for sure. 11's a lot. It wasn't like 6. I mean, I still have like lethal attacking, right? So they just throw a Haywire Might in front of something. Have to answer the eyeball here. The 8/8 obviously seems like the obvious choice, but it's actually incorrect. Because they can just attack with Kiora again and get it back. Although, I guess they have to attack with Kiora, but the Oculus just gets them more and more copies, right? So, sure. Feels like a pretty big block out situation. So, weirdly, a situation where the lands actually mattered a ton. My only thing is I don't know what this face down card is, and they're not blocking with it, so it feels like it's important. Okay. Yeah, so I personally think this is actually a better attacker. Because the 5/5 regardless, they get to like... They can make another one of these, right? By sacrificing this. Which would obviously be better, especially if they have another Kiora. But now it makes it like really weird. But the other thing is, because my Warren War Leaders lived... Oh, another Oculus. How sweet. I can actually make them go wide and then create a thing. Stop hitting nature's rhythm. Oculus happens. All good to go. Put a 1/1 counter on each frog, rabbit, and raccoon you control that entered the battlefield this turn. One, two, three, four, five, 6. If I attack out, I will have 5, 6, 7, 8. And 2 can get through. I need to make it, honestly, where none of my creatures can be traded. So can I can make 1 and then double the power on everything. Yeah, that seems like the right move. Attack out here. This one will resolve last, so attack creatures get 1/1. Make a 1/1. Make a 1/1. Sure. Sure. Pass. Oh, I forgot I have a quest color in play. I messed that up, actually. I forgot that they were just going to generically come in as 2/2s. So I actually missed lethal here. Brutal. That sucks. I mean, to be fair, like, I do feel okay with what's happening. Go as wide as possible here. Even though this other creature does have, like, trample and whatnot, but that's fine. I didn't miss lethal. That's... I just saw the quest color on top, and I was like, oh yeah, I can buff everything. I had one in play, so my things were going to enter buffed anyway. That sucks, but it's okay. Sure. Honestly, will they go for another eye? I mean, I won't make that mistake this time, though. I'll just go as wide as I can, but I only have one war leader, so it's like not really going wide at all now. All right, they just hard cast an Oculus. That's going to be 6 creatures. They will not have enough this time. It's weird because it's like one of those games where, like, at that moment, it didn't really matter what happened. They don't know what card's on top, I do not believe. But, yeah, sure. Resolve all this. Go for it, King. Yeah. So, here. Sure. I don't think it matters. Combat. Attack out. Make a 1/1 rabbit creature tapped and attacking. 2 more of these will trigger. Sure. And then sure. And they can figure it out from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it does not matter what happens here. Still gonna block regardless, which is just good play. Unless I messed up the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Whoop. Good game, opponent. Had the lethal last turn. You were definitely a turn away. Kind of a really cool, interesting deck. I'm actually curious if their deck is rotation safe, because that's a neat deck that we might have to look out for in the future. Foundations, Dragon, the Eye, the Unable, the... Okay, Haywire Might is gone, but if that's the only card they lose, then whatever, right? I mean, for the most part, obviously lands are a bit subjective, because, like, this land rotates out, but you get Breeding Pool, so it doesn't really matter to an extent, because you'll just be able to replace with that. Yeah, I mean, their deck's pretty much legal. That's pretty sick, though. If we take the win, we'll move on. Okay, big fella. I believe you. We're going to keep this. We're going to go with the frog. Frog on a log. A bog in the bottom of the sea. Or I don't know what the thing is. Ooh, unlucky. Great draw, though. Holy. Quest color. No cut down, it seems. A card that we won't have to worry about when rotation happens. The reason this is a great draw, not necessarily because it doesn't act as a lord for the might color, but oh, Gary, go for the third. Definitely an option. Insidious Roots. So the problem is if they go Tyvar here, it's just going to be awful for us. So I'm going to shelter. I'm going to do this. Pop this. Play the Paw Patch. Throw my Might Color and also Scry here. And then I'm going to let that go specifically. I do have like 2 turns here because I'm going to get to play this and I'll get to Scry. And then whenever this makes a 1-1, I'll Scry again. Yeah, the problem with Roots, right, is they only need a... Pause. Freeze. Relax. You don't mean to... Alright, so here's the thing. Can I make it where they have to block with that? Rabbit, obviously. Play here. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we put them to 1. So seems good. Seems good. Getting pretty fortunate here going first. This land's okay because we have access to this and the green does pay for this. So we're pretty okay with this. We'll play the Might Color, best kind of creature in our deck to lead off with. And then we can go right into Quest Color. Alright, so we're in the situation we talked about against Blue-Black last time. Now, hopefully we will be okay here. We can be aggressive enough maybe that they're just not able to keep up, but good staggered removal spells can do it. Blood Pits is also... Ooh, Grixis. Alright, King, pop off. Either of these will be good here in terms of blocking. Oh, especially now. That's actually a tough one. So, on one hand, I could go... I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play a Recruit here, I think. Or I play here, because I get a Scry as well, but I can potentially Offspring this, and my creatures are just constantly growing. Obviously, can't take that one. Double attack. There's no block that works here, so you chomp. You get hit to 14. The Kaido can do some stuff, maybe, but that obviously isn't that great. Their mana's a bit restrictive. Red's not online. The blue is good, but like, if it's a counter spell, it's not doing good, obviously, on this board. Cut down. That can take out a Lord, of course, which is all the important stats on the board. Here. Let's Offspring this. Hope they have nothing. They tapped out last turn, but they played a Siren first. Okay. Here we go. Now, the problem is, Cut Down does technically work. Yeah, I don't think they realized how crazy my board was going to get letting that happen. Oh, this is probably one of the worst hands we can have. Just like 4, 4, 3, 2... Maybe not a good card. Ooh, I think we're just gonna end up folding here, but we'll put the only one we can't cast back, I guess. Fair. The only one. Red. Just talked about how I was enjoying red not existing, and here it is to ruin my day. Obviously, no Heartfire Hero on one. I'm pretty pumped about. Rule. Oh, it's Dinos. Oh no. Dude, you can't. No, dude. We're so dead. Like, I'm just dead. I did learn, technically. I was actually really bummed about it. I learned it Tolly rotates as well, along with this. So I was going to actually build this deck in paper and play it at an Apex Con. We have a team event going on. Yeah, just show it to me. Yeah, we have a team event going on, and this is actually what my opponent's doing is what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, it totally rotates, so it doesn't necessarily do that much. This is what I was talking about in the matchup when I played it, that putting an extra Ghalta into play is super nice if you have a Tyrant, because Tyrant draws you a ton of cards. Yeah, I mean, we can't beat this, so I'm going to let it just happen so you guys can see how crazy it is. Oh, bummer hit, but with that being all of it, I'll just concede here. You know, not a whole lot we can do. They just... put it in the graveyard on 2, brought it back on turn 3. We literally 0 we could do. Even if we were mono red, we couldn't be dead. Alright, everyone. So here we are with the deck post the game, and this is where we settled on. I just cut the Knight because I know we're kind of getting in that weird spot where rotation is creeping up on us, and obviously these lands are a bit of a problem. I forgot. How is it? I'm the only one that keeps thinking that this is a commander land, and I keep forgetting to add it to my Magic the Gathering decks. So, update. After filming all day and realizing I didn't put a starting town in my deck, so these cards are rotating, and none of the creatures or spells in our deck are actually rotating here, so we're pretty safe to just go ahead and play this right. And if you like the rabbits or you like an aggro deck, this deck's always been kind of solid, where we can break it down a bit so you can see the rare discrepancy, and then these are the only mythics here. So, outside of mana, obviously. So we have a lot of rares when it comes to the lower of the ground stuff, but rabbits has been good for a pretty long time, and it has been pretty consistent at like being able to climb the ladder. Realistically, the only problem was we just couldn't beat the double striking mouse, and I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record for like a month talking about these bans, because my, did we need it pretty bad. Overall though, with the starting town being able to replace kind of these, and I think Temple Garden is one of the shocks that we're actually getting. I could be wrong. I looked at these literally yesterday. Green, red, red, white, green, blue. So no, we are not getting the Temple Garden. So that'll be in the set after. But yeah, so basically the lands will get replaced in a following set. It's not guaranteed to be in the set after, but typically when they do a shock land set, when they did allies and enemies, they always did like the allies first, and then the next set had the enemies, or vice versa. So most likely all shock lands are going to be legal and standard over the next two sets that are coming out, so definitely don't worry about that too much when it comes to the mana. And for people who have all the shock lands of old, not to really do much about it. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, these lands aren't even that good either. You probably don't even need to. You can just play basics pretty much. With that said, the deck is pretty good. It actually feels really, really strong. You have like the super aggressive turns when you're on to play. It feels hard for your opponent to keep up. But the thing about this deck is it does feel like things can go wrong and you can still lose. Obviously, we're at 64 cards here, so because I messed this up. But it does feel like things can obviously go wrong. Like the one game we talked, like if they just have a board wipe, we literally lose the game, or things like that where we do have to be really committal. And then obviously the Dino deck just took us out back and beat us, you know? Like there was nothing we could do to beat that. So it was pretty cool, but outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed. I know this deck is kind of a deck on recycle, but it weirdly got like unbanned, if you want to talk about it that way, where we're actually able to play it and enjoy it, and it works pretty well. So overall, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.